Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Mitt TV's presentation of the 13th annual Night Under the Stars, presented by the
Northern Macomb Regional Chamber.
There. And this is Kelly Stevens. And Kelly Stevens, what do we have in store tonight for the people?
You know, like Tim, you said it was our 13th annual. This is always a fun event for us. It's not necessarily doing business, but it's promoting the social aspect of the chamber. So we have 13 local restaurants participating in the Taste of Romeo. We have 3 artists in the yard doing free plein air painting. And then we have the Heartbreakers playing tonight, and in our hometown success story, Danielle Efemu. She's our 13th annual one that we've chosen.
And I know Danielle because she helps us with the Romeo Peach Festival Parade, the Children's Parade.
Children's Parade, that's right. And then the relationship, I have 2 daughters, and she has a sister, so they started out on Romeo High School's dance team together. So they were always known as the Adams sisters and the Stevens sisters, and they've been in each other's weddings, so it's kind of a neat thing to be able to do this for her.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be a fun night tonight. We're going to go talk to some of the food vendors, and let's go take a look and see who's here. So one of our food vendors here at the Night Under the Stars is the Four Corners Restaurant. What do you got here for the folks tonight?
We have some of the hot dogs provided by Four Corners, along with some of their famous potato chips that everybody in town knows and loves. So Anna and I are just dispersing them out to the crowd.
Marty over there has a great restaurant, and so she's provided us with some hot dogs and chips.
Well, everybody knows where it's at, and everybody stops there for breakfast, at least breakfast. Stop in again at the Four Corners Restaurant. Another one of our food vendors here is Pamela's Catering. And by golly, this is Pamela, and she's got some scrumptious looking stuff here. What do you have for the folks today?
Well, today we have our homemade spaghetti sauce. This is our marinara, and then we have our homemade Alfredo. We've got mini meatballs here. Normally you would get a bigger meatball, but we decide for the tasting. And our savory tort, which is one of the hits every year I have to come here.
What is the tort made up of?
It is goat cheese, cream cheese, herbs, sun-dried tomatoes, hearts of palm, pesto.
And you don't want to give the people out there your secret sauce recipe, huh?
No.
Oh.
They can come in and order it.
It's time for dessert. And Mike and Ruth's Hilltop Farm is here, and they're going to provide it for you. And this is Ruth. And Ruth, what do you got for the folks out here?
Strawberry rhubarb, that's what's on right now. And this is what the pie looks like, all whole and also cut up. And I also did some all buttered shortbread cookies with homemade apricot jam and violas from the garden.
From the garden. And we talk about the garden. You bake it, and Mike, you grow it. And
we have an orchard too, so a lot of this comes out of the garden area, which she does grow the garden part. But in the orchards, peaches, plums, nectarines, pears, apples, cherries, all that stuff I grow. So yeah, it's all.
So Mike and Ruth's Hilltop Farms, you want to stop by and quench your sweet tooth, right?
Got it. We'll fill you right up with sweets, no doubt.
So there's a new game in town in Romeo. It's called the Downtown Pretzel Company. And I'm here with a couple of their folks that are going to serve it. Tell us a little bit about the pretzels.
We have our cinnamon sugar with our sweet glaze, and then we have our plain that pairs well with our cheddar cheese, and then our pizza with our marinara, and then our Cajun and queso.
Which one is your favorite?
I would say the cinnamon and sugar.
Ooh, that's a sweetie.
Yeah, we have a couple other flavors too that we're going to be selling. We have our cheddar jalapeno, and then we're also going to have garlic parmesan and everything, and we're thinking about doing a s'mores one as well.
Ooh, that sounds really good. And where are you guys located?
We are located a couple doors down from Main Street Coffee House.
So you're right downtown. So if you want a pretzel, go to the Downtown Pretzel Company with David and Donna Seminis. Now, they don't have food here, but they are a part of the Chamber of Commerce. And what are you guys doing here?
Well, we're here first and foremost to enjoy this wonderful evening, helping everybody else with their sponsorships. We own a furniture store in downtown Romeo for the last 25 years. And of course, we're trying to promote our product. We're in the process of doing a refresh, if you will. So we're going to be painting and bringing in new collections, new accessories, kind of surprising people with a new look.
And what kind of furniture is it?
It's a variety of furniture. It's hand painted. Everything's brand new. a variety of styles. You've got to come in and check it out.
Well, keep my wife away because she buys too much furniture.
We'd love to have her.
Where are you guys located?
2 blocks south of 32 Mile Road at Washington and Main Street.
Can't miss it. So no Night Under the Stars will be complete without some adult beverages. And what kind of wines do you have for people out there?
We have some Melback, a red blend, Chardonnay, Rosé, and Sauvignon Blanc.
And 2 beers. A Rochester Red Ale and a Blue Wave Golden Ale. Well, I would take a glass of the Rochester Red if that be okay.
Absolutely.
That's great. That's great. And a couple ladies here enjoying. What are you drinking?
Melback.
Yeah, Malbec red wine. It's really good.
Oh.
First time I tried it.
Uh-oh. Well, I'll be keeping an eye on you.
If I could get your attention, we are going to draw for the 50-50, which some winner's going to get $250. So pull out your cards and let's go. Madison, dig deep. And the winner is 9 of clubs. Oh, Donna. Oh. Did you sell yourself that one? We only had 1 deck. Yeah. There you go. Congratulations. So tonight we're here to celebrate our 13th annual Night Under the Stars Hometown Success Story. But before we get to that, I want to thank all my restaurants that participated tonight. You know, without their participation, they do this gratis for us. So let's give them a round of applause. I think the food was really good tonight. And also, we cannot forget our sponsors. Our sponsors are the backbone of this organization. They help us be able to put these events on. Without them, we would not be able to do this. So the board has volunteered tonight. They've sponsored. They've donated raffle baskets. So this board of directors is a huge part of this event. So with that, I'm going to introduce our 13th annual Hometown Success Story. Her name is Danielle Adams Ethanu. My relationship with them goes back with her sister, the Adams sisters, and the Stevens girls. Danielle has been part of Romeo's dance program. Goes back to they danced at Suzette's, they danced at Romeo High School, but she had this driving force in her that she wanted to go bigger and better. So I'm going to let her tell her story. Danielle.
Thank you. Thank you, Kelly, and thank you to the Chamber for hosting this event. I'll try to get through this speech here and tell you a little bit about myself, but most of all, I've attended this event for several years, and I've always enjoyed hearing the stories from all the recipients. To be recognized as a successful member of the community is very humbling. My friends probably took that when I would start crying, so whoever won that one, good job. As a mom and a wife and an entrepreneur, I tend to be a little critical of myself, but I hope by sharing my story tonight, it encourages others to explore business and fundraising opportunities that they feel passionate about. So a little bit about myself. Thinking about tonight's speech, focusing on the hometown, the story, and the success. All of these things were centered around my upbringing with the focus on resilience, respect, and responsibility. I was fortunate enough to move to the Romeo community in first grade, going to Hamilton Parsons Elementary. As several of you know, our lives took an unexpected turn just a few short years later. What started off as a Saturday morning at the Peach Pit Bowling Alley in Romeo ended with a phone call that there was a terrible accident at our home and we lost our father. At the time, my mom had 3 young children. We were only 7, 9, and 10 years old. That's where I get my resilience from. My mom did such a wonderful job raising us and encouraging us to do everything that we could imagine. At that point in my life, dance wasn't a huge part of my life. We danced at a small studio out at 36 Mile in DeQuinder in a basement called Pat Morgan School of Dance. But looking back at that time, even though it wasn't a huge part of our life, during that time when we needed some normalcy, we had members from the community, family members and friends who literally dressed my sister and I at Rothmere Funeral Home to go to our dance recital that weekend. And I see things like that now as I host these events and deal with families that are going through so many things. And we're able to look at these situations and think that we can be a bright point in these children's lives, even when they have so many other things going on. Dance has always been important. In middle school, a friend asked me to go to her dance recital at Suzette's Masters of Dance. And while we had been experiencing these small studio recitals, Suzette's was a whole new world. I was immediately drawn into the number of dancers they had, the athleticism, their work ethic, and started dancing and never looked back. Just before that, I took my very first job at the Romeo Observer. We would go on Tuesday nights and put labels on all of the newspapers that went out. I was about 13 or 14 years old, and it was just a really good experience here in Romeo. My best friend and I were accepted onto the Romeo High School dance team when we were still in the junior high at that time. It was a pretty big deal, and we felt pretty cool that we would go up to the high school and dance. Also, during that time, I had the privilege of choreographing for the Romeo Theater Company. I couldn't have asked for a better time choreographing for Fame with Jesse and doing Grease. Those were two awesome shows. One teacher that stood out during that time was Kendra. I have to say Knight, because back in the day, she was just Knight to all of us. Kendra was a teacher that felt like the sky was the limit for each of us, and she probably believed in us more than we believed in ourselves at most times. My goal was to audition to teach at a summer camp program after high school, so I had to make the decision if I was going to dance my senior year or not, hoping that I would get that position the following summer. I was passionate about choreography and instruction, and after my senior year, I was selected to start to travel and teach dance. Summer employment quickly turned into a full-time job, and I moved out to the Farmington Hills area. I was directing competitions and camps, teaching dance throughout the week, and it just was a full-time job and took up most of my time. During that time, I was able to choreograph and direct large-scale events for America's Thanksgiving Day Parade, the 2001 and 2005 presidential inaugural parades. I don't know if many people can say that they've been in the same room of the president, but I had that experience, and it was mighty cool. Choreographed for the Pistons and Red Wings victory parades and several cruise line performances. In 2010, I was struggling with the work-life mix, and I had been working my entire adult life ever since I graduated with high school. I was unhappy. I don't know if many people can say that an Eminem song changed their life, but an Eminem song changed my life. In 2010, I was directing summer camp, and I walked into the empty gym in the morning, and it was totally quiet, and all of a sudden Eminem's Lose Yourself came on, and it starts off and it says, if you had one shot, one opportunity. The gym was empty, and I just sat and listened to the song, and all I could picture was there would be thousands of people in that gym within a few hours. Biggest smiles on their faces. I would be smiling too, but I was probably the least happiest person in the room. I decided that afternoon that after a decade in the industry that I was done. I called my mom and told her, I'm going to be moving back into your basement and renting my house. And she said, okay, sounds good. 2 weeks later was the Romeo Peach Festival, where we had attended every single year. Again, I had just moved home. And at the Peach Festival, all of my girlfriends were there, these young ladies here. And I saw a boy across the room. It was the most successful hey boy of my life. He was handsome and he was awesome, and decided to see if we could go on a first date. I had to explain to him that I didn't have a job. I just moved back into my parents' basement. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say that that wasn't the high point of my life, but he did see me play the cowbell in the Romeo beer tent, and he decided that maybe I was worth a shot. Our first date was to the Romeo Eisenhower football game. He was a four-year all-state football player, and of course I was at Eisenhower, and I was on the dance team at Romeo. I sat on the blue side, but I still did the Romeo fight song victory dance when we won. Again, he still stuck with me. I missed dance, and at that time I decided to take a job coaching the varsity dance team at Utica, but that wasn't enough to pay our bills, so I was working 3 jobs. I would waitress in the morning at Ken's Cafe in Shelby Township, go and coach the dance team in Utica, and then go to Lifetime Fitness to work, so that would take up most of my days. During that time, I couldn't shake the idea that I should start my own business. In 2011, we humbly started Dance Force Express with one competition here at Romeo High School, just where I had left off several years before. The goal of Dance Force has always been to host exclusively in Michigan and be community-oriented. Things were going well for us, and during the first 6 years out of our home, We doubled in size each year. So each year we would take what we did the previous year and multiply that. So within a couple years, we were doing very well. During that time, I married Mike in 2014. We welcomed Jacob in 2016. I don't see where Jacob is. He's right here. And Izzy in 2019. In 2019, we settled into a nice little office over here in Romeo. 2020 was going to be our biggest year ever. The first week of March, we hosted an event in Swartz Creek, the biggest event that Dance Force had ever hosted. 4 days later, as many people witnessed, we learned that our business was permanently shut down due to the pandemic. At first, it was the financial aspect that we didn't have the business going, but it very quickly turned into the personal interaction that we were missing. All of the people that we had watched growing up over the course of a few years that we weren't seeing anymore. We relied heavily on social media to promote positive energy and encourage kids to keep dancing, taking Zoom lessons or whatever they could do to keep moving. Looking back, the decisions that we made in 2020 shaped our future for the next 5 years. We made a decision within 2 weeks to fully refund all of the competition fees that had been paid. It sounds easy, but it's not as simple as the money in and money out. There were things that had been purchased, insurance, venue deposits, utilities, but we made it work. The industry standard with dance at that time was to give future credits, which put these small town studios in a bad position and caused the closure of many studios. When we returned in 2022, we had the full support of the dance community. People were attending multiple events, and the word spread that we had done the right thing back in 2020. 2025 was our largest attendance. We worked with over 100 elementary through collegiate teams and nearly 100 dance studios last season. When people think about dance, sometimes they say it's just dance. And some people say that for any activity or sport that they're involved in. But keep in mind that these children see structure and normalcy. Families go through the best times and they go through the worst times, and we experience that with them through these activities. It's important to us to know that we're a safe space for these children to express themselves. Dance Force Express has been able to give back to several charity organizations. We've worked with Beckett's Warriors, McKenna Squad, Oxford Strong, Girlfriends Giving Back, the Romeo Watchdog Game, with donations and sponsorships. We also have the opportunity to provide private, individual scholarships to dancers who might not be able to dance at competition if they didn't have sponsorships or scholarships. Most notably, Dance Force Express hosts the Make-A-Wish Winter Wishes competition each year, and we've donated nearly $25,000 to Make-A-Wish over the past 10 years. Thank you. I don't believe that everything happens for a reason, but I do believe that every experience can teach us something. In August of 2020, when we were shut down, that was what I thought the worst could happen for us. However, my son came down with a mystery illness in August of 2020. It took a long time to determine what was going on with him, and he had 1.5 years of treatments at Children's Hospital. Friends were sending meals. I received a card from a high school teacher who I hadn't talked to in over a decade. And our family was basically raising a 1-year-old for us during the pandemic. Emotionally, physically, and financially, having a sick child can be draining. Shortly after Jacob started his treatment, he came to me and said that he wanted to do something for kids like he had happen at Children's Hospital when a nurse gave him a toy. At 5 years old, he created Jacob's Bravery Box. Over the past 4 years, he has assembled with his classmates over 400 bags to go to Children's Hospital, and kids who get blood draws or IVs are giving these packages so that they feel brave and they can divert their energy to something other than what's going on. I don't know if he likes, but here he is. This is Jacob. Looking back at that, I don't think I could have ran a successful business at the same time as that. So it made me stronger and made our family stronger. And I really realized at that time that you can lean on your community to help you out when you need it. My upbringing and the business side has really shaped me as a person. I wanted to thank the Mitt TV for the wonderful article that they did. Doing the interview for the Mitt TV had a lot of reflection. There's a running joke amongst my staff. We hear a lot, what does Danielle do? I'm kind of the backstage, behind the scenes person that does all this stuff, and I don't really need to be in the spotlight. I do find a lot of cell phones in dark auditoriums, and that's my claim to fame, is I find everyone's lost phone. On the other hand, some people that know me well say, what don't you do? I try to get involved in as many things as I can and support as many people as I can. When asked what my hobbies were, I'm a mom through and through. I'm the vice president of the PTO at Schweitzer Elementary, and I enjoy being with my kids and planning activities and seeing them throughout the day, watching them grow. The same day that Kelly called and let me know that I had been nominated for this evening, my daughter Izzy, her kindergarten teacher, said, I need to tell you something that Izzy said in class today. And I took a deep breath because, as we all know, kids can sometimes come up with creative things to tell their class. She said they were doing a lesson on money, and some kids started talking about what it means to be rich. And Izzy immediately told her class, being rich doesn't have to do with money. I, again, took a deep breath and knew exactly what she was talking about. There's a short video online with Michael Bublé where he talks about what being rich is, and then it has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with the things you have. All those things are just stuff. Being rich is watching our 90-year-old grandparents enjoying barbecue on our porch. It's our kids being recognized as students of the month at school for the behavior program. It's family and friends and health. My Romeo roots and these relationships have molded me into the person that I am. During Peach Festival last year, parents of a longtime friend in town, we were sitting after the Peach Festival, and he said, you know, if you ever need anything, you let me know. We have nothing but love for you and that sister of yours. It's those types of relationships that I hold dear and know that we've developed over the past 35 years here in Romeo. I hope that my children see that, and they are that person. They offer help, and overall, they can offer to be kind. I do have a couple of thank yous. I'm going to read this. If it goes too long, Heartbreakers can do one of those little tunes, and I'll shuffle off the stage. First and foremost, to my mom. My resilience is a direct result of my upbringing. Life is not going to be perfect, but your reaction makes all the difference. I've learned the importance of hard work and financial responsibility. My mom has always been a strong supporter of everything I've done. My stepdad, Jim, and I use that term just as a technicality, Jim's been an important part of our lives. He's always there to help me with my little or my massive projects, and he is one heck of a papa to his grandchildren. My brother, my in-laws, my granny, and other family members, sometimes it's just a text or a phone call to say they're proud of my endeavors that bring a smile to my face. My husband and kids, there's times when I'm pushing deadlines or I've spread myself thin and they understand, and they're my best cheerleaders. They push me to be a better person. My longtime friend circle. I have a solid group of gals out there that they've been there through the good, the bad, and every single thing in between. Life comes at you really fast, and it means the world to have people on my side who are not only positively promoting what I've created as a business, but believe in me as a person and a friend. The coaches and studio directors who continue to patronize Dance Force Express, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for putting your trust in a local family-run business. The Dance Force Dream Team, our support staff and judges, they're comprised of a mixed bowl of fabulousness. Every person on our team, has the same mentality and would jump in to help at a moment's notice. I've never considered myself their boss, but I'm so proud to be their leader. To be able to have a goal-oriented group of individuals who I can literally take what I envision and they bring it to life is almost surreal at times. To my sister, Melissa, Mel nominated me for this honor, and while I say it all the time, I truly could not do this without her. She has an undeniable energy and puts 100% effort into every event to ensure that everyone, from the first-time dancer to the grandpa in the audience, has a memorable experience. She is the first one to have my back and is always willing to listen to my ideas to create something amazing. Again, thank you to the Chamber and to everyone who's here with us tonight. Thank you for supporting not only a small business, but a big dream of a hometown girl.
What a great story, wasn't that? And I will tell you that I knew about Jacob's story, but my girls, Adam's sisters and Steven's sisters, have been a foursome for years. So proud of them. Okay, Outstanding Hometown Success Award presented to Danielle FMU. Dance is an art. Paint your dream and follow it. An appreciation and special recognition of your outstanding achievements as a catalyst for positive change. Your commitment to the fire within the hearts of youth lights the path to a brighter future. You're a true hometown success, presented on behalf of the Northern Macomb Regional Chamber.
Ladies and gentlemen, hope you had a great time with us here at the Mitt TV at the 13th annual Night Under the Stars, presented by the Northern Macomb Regional Chamber of Commerce. And we had a great time, I'll tell you that right now, but hope you enjoyed it. For the Mitt TV, I'm Tim Meyer saying we'll see you next time right here on the Mitt TV.